skepticism and about how you can't really know anybody else or anything else than yourself. And that's a problem when you can't even really know yourself. Othello's problem, according to Stanley Cavell, this philosopher who wrote a lot about skepticism in Shakespeare, is that he's black, and that his whole world, this whole society that he's grown up in has said that's monstrous, that's disgusting, you're not even human. In spite of that, he's like risen in this world of warriors as a soldier and then eventually as a commander, and he's sort of proven his mettle. That's one of the ways that he feels like he sees his perfect soul. He's really good at war. But then, when there isn't any war, how does he love himself? Like, he's so full of self-hate, as this interpretation goes. Well, that's where Desdemona comes in, is that he sort of uses her to fill that void. She becomes a mirror for him to see his perfect soul. Othello says that she saw his visage in his mind, meaning that, like, she saw him for who he really was, not for the body that he had, but for his soul. So that's a big problem, because you can't put someone in the position of being the only way that you can see yourself. The only way you can love yourself is by having someone love you. That is sort of the engine of all the tragedy of the play. So, like, Othello's like, well, great, I have this, amazing, beautiful woman who can show me who I really am. I don't need to worry anymore. Except for that she's an amazing woman who is her own person and who actually desires him, actually wants him for himself, wants to have sex with him, wants to consummate their marriage. And that's a problem for Othello, because he hates his body. He hates this emblem of this monstrousness that everyone has told him he is. So there's a lot going on in that I think modern times we obviously want to talk about. We feel like other people tell us who we are based on our skin color, tell us who we are based on our gender, what we look like, how we're perceived by the world. And growing up, that's sort of how we learn about ourselves. That's how we learn who we are, by how other people react to us. A bunch of people come up to a pretty girl and tell her she's so pretty, that's what she thinks is valuable about her. Someone comes up, someone says, wow, you're really tall, you're really strong, you're really brave. And that's sort of, maybe even if you don't feel that, that's the way that you think you are. In fact, that's the problem, is that you don't feel that all the time, right? Like, people don't always feel like they're particularly pretty, or don't feel like they're particularly strong or smart. And so then it becomes, who's going to find me out? Where's the game going to be up? Where am I going to come clean and suddenly reveal how awful and horrible I really am? There's this horrible logic that starts to happen where you're like, well, what you're interested in isn't really me, you're interested in this idea of me. And actually, I'm not worth much at all. I'm a prisoner in my own body. My body is what's of value, not my soul. So I really am excited about that interpretation, and I think it has a lot of application in our lives and in the lives of the ensemble members I've gotten together, the photographer I've gotten together, and we have been already workshopping since April, actually. And we're all drawing from our own experiences about how our bodies have been treated, how we define ourselves, how we define our souls, how we do that in relation to one another, or how we do that just for ourselves. And we all disagree. We have vastly different ideas about what it means to have a soul. So what's exciting about this piece is that we're all willing to fight, and willing to fight each other and find common ground, and also find differing opinion. So I think that even though this piece isn't formed just yet, it's forming rapidly, and we're all getting very caught up and excited about it, and fighting for our points of view.
I'm not quite sure what a soul is, or if I even have one.
I really wanted to pay these collaborators that I'm working with, and the photographer that I'm working with, Kate Raines, who does amazing work in the city already. But I wanted to push her as an artist, and I wanted to push these actors as artists, and push myself as an artist. And the only way we can really do that is if we are compensated even just a little bit for the amount of time, for being able to set some work aside and go, I need to focus on this, I need to pour my energy into this. Look at this! And I think that's really exciting. I hope that you think that's really exciting too. So, give, donate. Do you have any other questions for me?